to our mind when we hear the word excretory system is kidney, right? So we will be learning a lot about kidneys also. So the content we'll be seeing today will be about the excretory system and the process of excretion and the organs involved in excretory system. So what is excretory system? So in general, in simple terms, the excretory system is a passive biological system that removes excess unnecessary materials from the body fluids of an organism. Here, the word body fluid, it means the blood. Okay, there will always be some toxins from the metabolic reactions that happen in our body, and for those toxins to get removed, excretion takes place. So, what exactly is meant by the word excretion? So, excretion is a process in which metabolic waste is eliminated from an organism. So, now what is metabolic waste? So, when we eat food, we ingest food and it gets digested, and certain metabolic reaction takes place. So, after those metabolic reactions, what happens is the nutrients and the toxins after the metabolic reaction, they will be in the blood. So the nutrients will be carried to the places where they have to go, and these toxins, they might accumulate in blood if there is no process of excretion. So here is where the process of excretion comes into action. So another important point is that different organisms follow different modes of excretion. We humans, we use kidneys as our major excretory organ. Lungs, skins, and eyes are also used by some animals depending on their habitat and food habit. So, what does human excretory system consist of? So, in this, now we'll be seeing about the different parts of the excretory system. So the excretory system organs include a pair of kidneys, as we all know, and then a pair of ureters and a pair of urinary bladder and a urethra. So these are the important organs of the excretory system. So now we'll see each of them in detail one by one. So as you can see in the picture, the part which is labeled 1 is the ureter, the long tube which connects the kidney to the bladder is the ureter, and the part which is marked as 2, that is the kidney, and the part which is marked as number 3 is the urinary bladder, and the part which is marked as 4 is the urethra. So first we'll see in detail about it. We see its shape, size, where it's located, and all about kidneys. So they are bean-shaped structures. They are actually located on either sides of the backbone and are protected by ribs and muscles of the back. So here one important point we all have to know. So that is, the kidneys are not located here in front. So the kidneys are actually located behind. Okay. And each human adult kidney has a length of 10 to 12 centimeter and a width of 5 to 7 centimeter, and its weight is around 120 to 170 grams, which is not that very heavy. So as I already mentioned, they are located, that is one on each side of the spine at the level of the liver. So exactly at the level of the liver, the kidneys are positioned on either side of the spine. And the kidneys, they are divided into 3 parts. More than parts, the word regions will do. So they are divided into 3 regions. So the 3 regions are the renal cortex, the renal medulla, and the renal pelvis. The outermost layer, the outermost covering, which covers the whole kidney, that layer is called the renal cortex. And the innermost layer, the part which lies inside the cortex, is the renal medulla. And lastly, the renal pelvis. So that is what carries the urine from the kidney to the ureter. So it does a very important function. This renal pelvis. Of course, all other regions also they do perform functions, but this is kind of a bit more important than the other. So now coming to a few interesting facts. An average person, all of us will have would have heard of this. So we will have blood circulating throughout our body. So there'll be around 1 to 1.5 gallon of blood circulating through our human body. And this, the kidney, what they do is, as I already mentioned, they remove the toxins from the blood. So for that, the kidneys first they filter the blood. That they do not do it once or twice. They do it like around 40 times, and more than 1 million tiny filters they actually present inside the kidney. They remove the metabolic waste and other unnecessary products in the kidney. So the 1 million tiny filters, they are called nephrons. All of us would have heard of this word. So the nephrons are the basic building blocks of the kidney. So now coming to the next part, the ureter. So the ureter is a pair of thin muscular tubes. That is the ureter. It comes out of each kidney and extends from the renal pelvis. So the renal pelvis is the part from which the ureter comes out, and this ureter, it carries urine from the kidney to the urinary bladder, as we already saw. So the next part is the urinary bladder. So in the picture I showed earlier, you would have noticed a small sac-like thing present. So that is nothing but the urinary bladder. So it looks like a sac, more or less like a sac. It is a muscular sac-like structure, and it stores urine. Okay, and the urinary bladder is emptied by the process of micturition. So here the word micturition, it means nothing but the act of urination. Simple terms, it means the act of urination. So the next part is the urethra. So the urethra, this is also a tube. It arises from the urinary bladder, the lowermost part in the picture which I showed earlier. And this part is very, very, very important, as it helps to expel urine out of the body. And there are sphincter muscles present. That is, these sphincter, what they do is they actually help in opening and closing of certain parts of the body. They are not only sphincters are not only present in the urethra, they are also present in certain parts of the digestive system. So these sphincter muscles, they help in opening and closing of a part of the urethra. Okay. So these sphincter muscles, in turn, they help in micturition. That is the act of urination. So now, what is the difference between egestion and excretion? So now we'll see the difference between egestion and excretion. Since these two words sound similar, we should not get confused. So excretion means the removal of toxic materials. So as I already said, toxic materials include the metabolic waste and excess waste substances from the organism. Okay, and that is what we saw. And egestion is the passing out of undigested food as feces through the anus. Okay, so this is the basic difference. So excretion is the passing of urine, the passing of toxic materials, waste products of the metabolic reaction and excess substances from the organism. And egestion is the passing out of undigested food as feces through the anus. So now, initially I mentioned that not only kidneys excrete, a few other organs also helps in excretion. Now we'll see those organs. So one of them is lungs. So just pause the video for a moment and ponder over what it does, like how the lungs help in excretion. Just think for a minute. So obviously, excretion means removing something from the body, right? So the lungs, they do remove something from the body. You would have guessed by now. So yes, the lungs remove carbon dioxide. As we all know, we human beings, we take in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide. So the lungs, they remove excess carbon dioxide when breathing out, and sometimes water also comes through the nose, like all of us would have experienced it. So in that way, the lungs also excretes carbon dioxide, excess carbon dioxide. It removes excess carbon dioxide. So the next um, uh, the next organ is the skin. That is the sweat gland, which is present under the skin. So even these excrete certain substances. So that is sweat. The sweat glands, what they actually do is they regulate temperature by removing waste. So how it does that is that it secretes water, sodium salts, and nitrogenous waste. So nitrogenous waste, as in urea. Urea is a very, a very harmful toxin. So it has to be excreted in some way or the other. So it gets excreted through the skin in the form of sweat. All of us would have experienced sweating at some point of time. So the waste, the sweat consists of water, sodium salt, and nitrogenous waste like urea. So now, when talking about the skin, we also have to focus on the sebaceous glands. A sebaceous gland is an endocrine gland in the skin that opens into a hair follicle to secrete an oily or waxy matter called sebum. So this sebum, they lubricate the hair and skin of mammals. So they are actually helpful in some way because they prevents our skin from getting dry. But when excess sebum is secreted, what happens? We will start to feel oil on our skin, right? So when it is secreted on a correct amount, it actually helps to lubricate the hair and skin of mammals. So with this, we come to the end of today's session. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you so much.